their favorite comic book character. Mine is Man-Thing. Just want to put that out there. There, you're welcome. You know, if you're interested in doing a show and tell and you want to share something or introduce yourself to the rest of the community, you can talk to Sam and myself. We're going to have 3 separate people introduce themselves to you and talk about something that they work on or care about. And I don't know what Mariah is doing, but I'm interested in it.
That's going to be the cover photo for this video, for sure.
And they're going to give you about 10 minutes of something that they're working on, and we'll give you some time to ask questions as well. So first up, we have MyClin, our friends. Well, you know what? I'll just let you take it away.
Thanks, Adam.
I've said too much.
No, it's good. Thank you very much for the intro. And we are taking this opportunity to do a couple of things. One is self-serving, which is practicing our pitch and our explanation of what MyClin is for a conference that we're going to in San Francisco on Monday. But we also felt it was a good opportunity to build upon the introduction that MyClin has had since December, since we moved in and occupied the space in the back. So we thought it'd be a good time to tell you what the quiet kids in the corner are working on and who we are and what we're about. I may refer to these notes every now and then, so excuse me, I scripted this so that I could get better and better at it. Like I said, this is practice. So my name is Johnny Bilotta. I know some of you and some of you know me, but I don't know everybody. But I hope to meet and greet everybody who I don't know here at Indy Hall a little bit more often than I do, coming out of that office in the back. With me is my associate, Rob Stevens. He is our business development associate and working out of the office sometimes, but most of the time he's on the road and trying to get us our product sold. So, you know, Indy Hall puts its people first, so I wanted to put the people behind MyClin first when we discuss, you know, who we are, because those people you see around here all day. We came to occupy the experimental space, the experimental private space in the back, and it was sort of a homecoming for us because the core team that works back there are all former members of Indy Hall or Indy Hall alumni. I myself am a proud badge owner of the #1 member. I'm the first follower, the first member of Indy Hall back in 2006.
First member is different from #1 member. I just want to get that
right. Yes, yes. I didn't say I was a #1 member. I said I am the first in the book says this guy signed up first. So I don't know if that's technically the case, but I think that legend has it that I am. Yes, yes. So yeah, the core team of MyClin, we're not involved in the project until we all met at Indy Hall in 2009 in the old space. And the team has been a member of this community for almost 10 years. And we hope to be an example of how adopted strangers at Indy Hall become family and then can contribute to a stable and profitable business. MyClin was founded by our CEO and partner, Jim Denmark, in 2008, when he noticed that compliance in clinical trials was being addressed by archaic means. Very dated methods. With the help of web and cloud technologies, MyClin provides a modern-day answer to issues surrounding clinical trial compliance and communication. The current team is made up of 8 people in a distributed format. They include some contractors here and there, but for the most part, we operate a distributed team. As previously stated, the product development team works out of here, consisting of myself as VP of Product Development and Design, Chris Dawson, our VP of Technology, our head of quality assurance, Captain James Falcone, or I'm sorry, James Captain Falcone, who at one time occupied the position that Sam is now sadly leaving. Rob's our newest addition to the team as our business development associate. Our VP of clinical operations, Cathy Goodwin, works out of several client offices or from her farm near Kennett Square, which you can keep an eye on our Angus steer. Finally, our VP of Business Development contributes from his home in Oxfordshire, England, where when he's not watching Reading Football Club or playing cricket. Now you know a little bit about us and the people. Let's tell you a bit about MyClin. In short, MyClin helps clinical trial organizations manage the compliance needed on their communication and materials in a secure but collaborative environment. Our platform is has been used by over 70 studies in 38 countries. With over 10,000 users and with 2,600 trial sites. So we've been able to be in this business for over 10 years, and we're still learning. Rob's going to explain how we fit into the clinical trial ecosystem and give you a quick demo, and I'm going to be quiet and let him do his thing.
Thanks, Johnny. So yeah, if you can just pull up the website, I'll give you guys just a quick background of the clinical trial landscape, because if you don't know anything about that, then MyClin kind of seems pretty foreign. So the way the clinical trial, most simply put, works is that it's kind of a triangle. So you have the sponsor. So in an example such as like Advil or aspirin, so you have a sponsor such as like Bayer. So they would create aspirin, right? Then you have a CRO, and then you have sites. So all three of them are trying to communicate. So the sponsor comes up with the idea, says, hey, I've found this molecule, and I think that's really good for headaches. I'd love to explore it further and maybe put it out to production and sell it. So they come to their CRO, say like a Merck, and come to them and say, hey, can you guys conduct this trial for us? The CRO then goes to doctors' offices, hospitals, different medical sites, and gathers them and tells them that they need to, well, the sites come to them and actually want them to conduct this trial for the drug, right? So the CRO and the sponsor are bringing in all this data from the sites, and they're trying to form a centralized location where they can all collaborate, talk, and be in a secure environment. So that's where MyClin kind of comes in. So you can see here, MyClin really operates, we operate in a two-channel system. So here we have our site channel. So if you log in here, you can see Johnny, can you actually take the
Yeah, okay. So MyClin acts as a way for you to take the communication material that are being transferred between all parties in a clinical trial and allows them to manage their compliance on that, see who is it's shared with, comment on it, basically collaborate on it. Compliance in a clinical trial is a big thing. You go in front of the FDA or the ICH, which is the International Governing Body of Clinical Trials. You need to have all of your ducks in a row. Did that doctor review the protocol correctly? Was it followed to the letter? So MyClin offers a place for you to track all of that. And it's tracked through simple content such as a news post, which are basic announcements, and goings on during the clinical trial. But the real power of it comes in managing documents and materials for the clinical trial, such as images, PDFs, spreadsheets, office docs. We say it's better than email. Email's not secure. Our system is secure. What's nice about this is that we have versioning involved in our system. So when you upload a document that is needed for a clinical trial, let's say a very important document like a study protocol, which tells the participants of that clinical trial how to proceed with the clinical trial. A lot of people need to see it, and it's constantly being amended. So in order for you to know that you're with the latest version when someone uploads it, or this party uploaded their amendments, this party uploaded their amendments, you can always go back and see what has changed. We are not a document collaboration platform, but we do have some versioning involved in our platform. The real power of MyClin is the acknowledgement and the compliance features that we have. So in every MyClin item, a news article, a news item, or a document that's been shared, you have filing rules, which is basically acknowledgement rules. The file a button up in the upper right allows that person who just read this item to acknowledge that they understand it. That is incredibly helpful when dealing with compliance. Our system then allows you to see item per item which teams involved in the study or that need to see that item are compliant, which ones are not, and then also be able to see the engagement with that item, such as when they viewed it, when they downloaded it, when they printed it. All of these things are tracked so that when you go in front of a board to get your drug approved, all your ducks in a row, and you can show that all of the people that needed to do the things that they needed to do were there and taking care of it. So Sam has given me the 2-minute mark, and I can show you, I can tell you that we are built on a Java stack. We use Amazon Web Services to manage most of our cloud hosting. We currently do not have a come to the system, give us your credit card, and sign up for our service. You have to go through a sales process because we license the software out on a yearly basis depending on how many sites you need to service and also how many channels you need to start up here for your clinical trial.
Yeah.
So that's MyClin. We are happy to show you some more about what we do. You can come over to our space and I can give you a more lengthy demo, or Rob can give you a more lengthy demo, or you can check out more at myclin.com, where we have several videos and demonstrations about how the software works. I'll leave it open for questions now. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Question.
Yes.
How has MyClin changed since its inception in 2009?
So the team was only 1 person, 2 people in 2009, and with the addition of Chris Dawson coming on to take over most of the programming from Cars.com and from Grubhub, where he was doing fabulous work. He was poached from them and went to work for MyClin, and it went into overdrive in terms of development because there was another addition to the team. As we've grown, we've just gathered up friends and family to help us out, and it's become more of a family-operated business than it is a software company. So from the beginning, it was very small. We're still very small. We're a 10-year-old startup, technically. Mm-hmm. But we all believe in the product. We believe that we are on the precipice of this becoming a very big game changer in clinical trials. It just needs the adoption of more sponsors.
We haven't taken a dime.
What's that?
We haven't taken a dime.
Yeah, we haven't taken a dime. We have not taken any startup money, any seed money, any funding, anything like that. It's discussed constantly, but we haven't taken anything. Cathy?
How did you learn what features were important to your clients?
Yeah, good question. We learned from having clinical operations people on our staff. Cathy Goodwin takes care of our clinical operations, and she is a great feeder of. She is in the trenches working with people using the software constantly, so she's telling us about what they need. We have in the product development team, we have a motto we go by that the person that's using this is always behind. So they're always on another system. They're always using something else they don't want to use. And the easiest way for us to make it easy for them is to get out of their way as ergonomically as possible. We take feedback through support channels, through personal one-on-one conversations of people who use the software, but we are still working to improve that feedback through some introductions we may make this year of having some user guides and some way for them to communicate with us directly.
We're also kind of defining the space.
Yeah.
A lot of other people doing it. So, yeah, we just try and get stuff out there, see how it plays, and just try and make it as simple, easy to use as possible. And if people don't like a certain thing, then we're nimble enough to get rid of it or tweak it, whatever.
Yep.
I'm curious about your competitors. I guess since you mentioned since you're kind of new in this space, also about your in there.
So there's a lot of software in the clinical trial space for doing many things: document management, communications, lab results, specimen tracking. I mean, there's so many components and parts of it, and we compete against them indirectly for explaining what we do. Everybody likes to associate what we do with one of those particular items because we have some of those features in our software set. So we compete with explaining to people that that's not mainly what we do, and we're more on the compliance and trial side. As far as
people think they can get it done with email and SharePoint.
And Dropbox and Google Drive, and we compete a lot with the Dropbox and the Google Drive and email especially. We have people tell us that we had someone recently tell us that they didn't feel comfortable putting something in our system but they felt comfortable sending it via email. And we were just like, why would you feel more comfortable sending an email, especially something that needs as much security and compliance as you're sending? So we compete against email a lot. Trying to pitch someone against email becomes a difficult sales process. Yeah. Any other questions?
Do you like your job?
I love my job.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I do.
Put a gun to his head.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that everybody who worked with, I feel that I can say that everybody who works with us and for us does like their job. We all know that we could possibly get higher salaries, competitive benefits. I mean, a hell of a lot better in terms of financial reward, but what we get is lifestyle reward, and I wouldn't trade it for anything right now. So.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny. Our next presenter is Ted Molloy. Am I saying your last name correctly? Ted Molloy. Ted is joining us via Cathy Goodwin, who introduced us to Ted. And Ted is here to talk to us about his organization that he works with, Youth Build Philadelphia.
Awesome. Thank you so much. While Sam is getting a brief video set up, I just wanted to thank everybody for having me today. Thank you, of course, to Cathy for who was introduced to our organization through some pro bono consulting work that she is doing with a project that we're developing called a learning exchange, which we'll get a little bit more into. But we do site visits about once a month, and Cathy also joined us for one of those site visits, which is a really good opportunity to get to know our program, get to know our students on a very real level. So definitely I can share some more details about that as well. But definitely would encourage anybody who is interested in learning more after my presentation today to come out to a site visit, because really the best way to get to know our program is to talk to our students about it. You know, I am a mouthpiece for 230 young people that are currently enrolled at Youth Build, about 200 alumni that we're currently serving, 70 staff members who are all incredibly passionate and dedicated to the life-changing work that we do at Youth Build. So again, just to provide a little bit of context for the rest of my presentation, I did want to show a 5-minute video featuring an alum named Marquise Riley, who graduated from our class last year. You'll see some footage of our current executive director, some of our staff members just talking about kind of the relationships that are formed at Youth Build and how those have an impact on young people. Thanks, Ed.
Being out of school, it didn't feel good, but at the same time, I looked at it as like school wasn't for me. The teachers wasn't helping. I didn't really have no support from people in the school or my family really, so I just decided to drop out.
Youth Build Philadelphia Charter School is an opportunity for transformation for young people from across Philadelphia, ages 18, 19, and 20, to come into a school that really understands them as entire human beings, provide them opportunities both to re-engage with their education, to think about career pathways that resonate with who they want to be as leaders in the community, and provide really intensive social emotional support that knows and understands and cares for the whole human being that's walking into the doors of Youth Build Philadelphia.
I actually had family that attended Youth Build Philly in the past years, and they told me things about Youth Build that they do here. The hands-on work is fun. And here at Youth Build, I get a lot of support, one-on-one support actually, with my case manager or my mentor, my teachers.
I think Youth Build is a great fit for Marquise because of the support that's offered, and so I think students come in initially thinking, I'm going to come and get my diploma and that's it, and are pleasantly surprised by the support that's offered to them here. And so I think being able to build trust and build relationships with staff members has been really helpful for him in kind of branching out and being able to eventually advocate for himself and exhibit that confidence that he's seeking.
The goal is to have them something training here at Youth Build, get comfortable and familiar with the processes of, a job or industry, and then continue on from that first job all the way up to advancement, and have them continuously thinking about what their next step is. So you think about somebody who starts off as a barista, hopefully, 5 years or so, they're moving on to management and having an opportunity to start your career someplace that offers those types of positions to young people who may not have been exposed to that before.
We have a mix of being academically rigorous in ways that respond to competencies that matter both for young people and for the school district of Philadelphia, so that young people leave with a meaningful diploma. But we also make sure that young people are engaged in real, meaningful hands-on learning, that young people get a chance to explore topics and ideas that are meaningful to them as human beings and as learners, that they have multiple means of engagement, that they're given a choice about what it is that they're working on in a classroom, and that choice represents meaning for them as learners. We're thinking about empowering young people with choice to say, this is a learning opportunity that would matter to me, and then tying that choice back to competencies that matter and are academically rigorous.
What makes Youth Build unique in a lot of ways is our connection to opportunities and kind of having one foot into the school side and one foot out in the community and out with partners. And it's been incredibly valuable for me to see employers and potential employers in all different kinds of industries get behind being able to coach and support our students.
I would say employers are excited about working with Opportunity Youth just because of some of the skills that they bring to it. They have grit, they have resilience, they have loyalty and motivation. They are incredibly motivated to the betterment of their future. And so they, bring a totally different mindset to their workforce.
We provide an intensive follow-up year of support services for young people as they transition into their post-secondary, their career, and their leadership pathways. So all told, Youth Build Philadelphia is many things, depending on the needs of the young people who come through our doors.
My career goal is to actually be in the carpentry and build buildings here in Philly and houses. So putting myself back in school is like I'm moving forward and like.
So thank you guys for doing the video. I know it's not the most interactive medium, but definitely wanted to kind of provide a little bit of context, a little bit of overview, and especially incorporate that student perspective. That is something that, obviously we are in the business of developing young leaders, and really, we are making a much more concerted effort, I feel, in the last 2 to 3 years of our program to provide young people with that outlet to share their own stories and to control their own narratives. So as you gleaned probably from the video, we are a 2-year program. Our students are overage. They left high school in Philadelphia without a diploma. That can mean that they dropped out. That can mean that they were kicked out. That can mean that their school shut down. That can mean any number of things. Basically, when they come to Youth Build, we wipe the slate clean. As long as they are 18 to 20 years old, as long as they do not have a high school diploma, as long as they live in the city of Philadelphia, and as long as they are motivated to earn their high school diploma and build a career for themselves, we provide that opportunity. We are not a savior type of program. We do not give anybody anything. Everything is earned at Youth Build. What we do provide is opportunity. A lot of our students are coming from neighborhoods in the city where those opportunities don't exist. They have the talent, they have the motivation, they have the brilliance. They've just never met the right people to be able to make those contacts to make a difference for their lives and their families' lives. So Marquise is a really good example. Marquise had jumped around to a number of different schools before just kind of deciding, like, I'm not finding my fit. When he came to Youth Build, he was like one of the most quiet people. Like, you would talk to him, you would get one-word responses, and just built that confidence. Like he worked as part of our advanced construction team, so got a lot of those hands-on skills to build that confidence. That translated over into the classroom, where he really realized, like, I can put a lot of what I'm applying in the classroom to use in a future career. He actually sat for the carpenter's exam last year, is still currently seeking sponsorship, excuse me, and is in the process now of getting his driver's license to kind of open up some additional opportunities for him He was actually in my office yesterday, just kind of checking in. Love Marquise, but is one of about 160 students that graduate per year. So again, in the video, you probably saw we enroll about 225 young people per year. Within that year of the first year of our program, they earn that high school diploma, they earn vocational certification, they complete a minimum of 300 community service hours through our partnership with AmeriCorps. What that gets them is a education award, so if they choose to go into college right away, or any time really in the next 7 years, they can put that towards college and towards further education to further their career. After they graduate, we do not just kind of like throw them out in the world and say like, you got it now, you got your diploma, you got your certification. We provide that extra year of support. So we have a number of partners around the city, both employment partners, post-secondary education partners that we work with very closely. We are constantly in feedback loops with them, constantly in communication about students who have been hired, why they haven't been hired, why they may have been let go from an organization, to really make it better and make it a better opportunity for the young people that we serve, and make it more of an opportunity for the businesses, and make them want to invest more in our program and invest more in the young people that we serve. I did not touch on, but I will very briefly, the 4 different vocational tracks that we offer. So obviously with a name like Youth Build, that lends itself very easily to construction. We actually have 3 different building trades tracks. One is focused around green building, sustainable energy, advanced construction, and a new path we just started this year called Real Accelerated Entrepreneurial Leaders, who are dealing with real estate in addition to some of the basic building trades. We also offer customer service training. So our students are actually, we have a cafe that's open 3 days a week, completely staffed by our students. They're also getting real world experience with a number of other partners, including Gap and Interrepublic Old Navy, hire about 60 students of ours as interns every year. We also have a child development track where our students are earning certification to go work in child care centers around the city. A lot of those students do go on to pursue further education. We actually had a current class of 2018 student hired as an assistant preschool teacher, and her goal is after graduation to go on and get that full certification to become a full teacher. Our 4th vocational track is healthcare. Those students are working towards a home health administration certification. We also offer a few different paths to work on kind of the administrative end, medical administration end, as well as certified nursing assistants, so kind of working in residential facilities with a larger number of clients than just kind of the one-to-one service that HHA would provide. So again, I could talk for hours and hours about Youth Build. I do really appreciate you guys coming out and learning more about Youth Build today. Definitely want to open it up to any questions.
You should tell people about the process to get in, where they have that mental toughness week.
Thank you, Cathy.
It's all talking about that.
Awesome. Thank you, Cathy. Yeah, so she touched on it. We call it mental toughness training. Our application process, as I said, our enrollees have to be between 18 and 20. They have to be not currently enrolled in school and without a high school diploma, and they have to live in Philadelphia. Beyond that, we bring them in for an information session. We do what we call an intake interview as well. Not like any kind of judgment, not anything like the only thing that comes out of the intake is information about their past experience and how we can best serve them if they do enroll in you. So as long as they complete those additional 2 requirements, they're invited back for a week of what we call mental toughness training, which is 6 days of what it sounds like. It is very character building, and it really brings out the best characteristics of a lot of our young people. What it really is testing their motivation and making sure that like they are ready to make this commitment for 2 years of their life to earn that high school diploma and to take those next steps. We open our doors at 8 o'clock every day. We have people lined up as early as like 6:15. If they are not in our community celebration room, kind of our assembly space, by 8:30, they are dismissed and they would have to reapply in a future year for mental toughness. So, just the act of being there every day at 6:30 for 7, 8, sometimes consecutive days is a demonstration of that motivation. And then once they're in the building and once they're going through some of the workshops throughout the day, we are a very reflective program. As I said, we wipe the slate clean for students. But we definitely provide a lot of opportunities for them to reflect on things that have happened to them in the past or decisions that they have made in the past that have kept them from earning that high school diploma. Yes.
So what you're doing is awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome.
So we are, as I said, Cathy is doing some awesome pro bono consulting work with our Learning Exchange. Really, I would invite you guys as kind of a first step to come in and learn more about our school, get to meet with some of our students. We do site visits about once a month. Our next one is May the 24th, and I can send some information to Sam to send around. But we would love to have you guys in. It's about a 2-hour site visit. You get kind of a brief tour of the school, a brief overview. Really, the highlight is about 40 minutes spent having breakfast with students and really just talking to them, getting another experience. From there, or even before that, if you are interested in volunteering, we're always looking for folks to provide, some of these career building skills, whether it be mock interviews or resume support, or kind of help with branding themselves. So we would certainly welcome that. We also are constantly looking for in-class aides, which I realize is a big commitment for people who are working 9 to 5 or even flex schedules. But definitely, that extra layer of carrying adults in the building is what really instills the confidence that our students can take with them as they begin their careers. Sure.
Well, where are you funding?
So we are a charter school, so we do receive funding from the School District of Philadelphia. That's about a third of our budgets. As I said, we also partner with AmeriCorps. They provide about 1/6 of our budget every year, kind of funding service projects. We have a number of full-time AmeriCorps staff who are dedicated to finding service projects and civil engagement opportunities for our students. From there, we're blended a lot of private funders, a lot of private foundation funders, a lot of corporate funding. As I mentioned, we have a number of partners who support that. So, we are fortunate to have a lot of different blends of funding, a lot of different streams of funding. But definitely, the more funding we receive, the more we're able to innovate. My role is actually the individual giving coordinator with the organization, so I get to introduce people to the organization, but also seek out funding for some of those innovation opportunities where we're able to provide new vocational tracks or kind of new social opportunities for students. Yes.
This may be more of a question for the students themselves, but I feel like one of the reasons some people drop out is they have to take care of kids or something like that. Are there any resources so that folks who are parents can take part?
Yeah, so we are, about a third of our students are parents. We partner with a program called Elect in Philadelphia that provides a lot of in-school support. We also have case managers that work very closely to connect our students with CCIS, like childcare or supplemental services, basically. So that as long as they're going to school, they can receive very reduced childcare through a licensed, obviously, childcare facility in Philadelphia. But yes, as I said, about 30% of our students are parents themselves. So we are not only providing those services while they're in school, but through our partnership with the Left. There's a lot of parenting courses. There's a lot of group work and kind of group counseling that's done along as well. Thank you for that question.
Cool. If you have any other questions, we can make sure that we keep an open channel and we'll stay in contact.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure we would love to get information about a site visit. We're doing more between Indy Hall and Youthville.
Yeah.
But, give it up for Tess. Thank you very much for doing it. And thank you, Cathy, for putting us in contact.
I should say that all the consulting is part of the team at Penn alums, which Sam will be eligible for the finish this week.
Awesome. We have one more presenter today. It's you.
Oh.
It's Laura. She, I think you're going to give us a demo.
It's going to be very different.
It's going to be a little bit different. Okay, great. And this is, right now there's an adapter on it for the.
Great.
So my name is Laura, and I do don't put Okay,
How do you help the youth, Laura?
What?
How do you help the youth?
I am the So my name is Laura, and I do a video, and I do mostly post-production and animation. And so basically, the reason why I'm here is because Alex, here present, saw this picture, which is not working right now, but yes it is. and told me to come to show and tell, to show you how you do it. This is incredibly simple. Just put my face in huge on the general Slack chat. Great. And so basically, there are like, when you see this picture, which makes it so weirder, but there are a lot of ways to do it. And I'm just going to show you like the different tools to kind of like introduce you to frame by frame animation, which this is. So it's like the simplest way to do animation. And then I'm just going to show you like the main tools that are applicable to all of you that you could use to do this sort of thing and far beyond. And the most efficient way to do this sort of thing to me would be Photoshop. Like a lot of people, I'm going to present it on Photoshop because I think it's like definitely the main leader on the market when it comes. A lot of people use Photoshop to do still things, but there's naturally very, very efficient workflow through Photoshop to do animation. And one of the things I can show you is like all these were partly made through Photoshop. All these animations are made only on Photoshop, like without using any other software. They're all imported to Photoshop, drawn on Photoshop, exported on Photoshop, made into GIFs on Photoshop. Like to quote Sam, if you want me to say GIF, I do not care.
I don't care.
So I'm basically, first forgive me, my Photoshop is in French. So I'll try to just translate all the process steps if you want to take. But it happens, I try to change the language, it's not as simple as it sounds. So the main thing in Photoshop when you want to create video is you just go to layer, and it's very, very simple. There's something called video layer. And then you just like create a new empty video layer. And from there on, it creates like, it creates a timeline. So if any of you do video editing, it's exactly the same. You'll have a timeline. And from there, you can just start drawing. Something like this. Okay, we're going to try to make this process a little rapid. And what you can use, and it's very practical when you do animation, and you have this in Photoshop, is use what we call the onion peels, which basically allows you to, when you move like to the next frame, you'll see the frame before. So you can just like do this. And make me smile a little more. And then just advance. And so on, and so on. I'm just going to do a few frames so you can actually see it animated to the end. This is going to be beautiful.
Eyes bigger. Big eyes. Ooh, full teeth smile.
So basically, you can already like just see how it's animating. And well, usually you need to know like when you do animation, you won't do 5 frames. You'll do like 100, and in the end, it will look cool. And one thing that's really cool in Photoshop is you can actually import video. So, well, I'm not going to do it. I've never done it like this, but I'm just gonna. Give me 1 minute. I have not thought of what video I should show you. I will.
For the uninitiated, what version of Photoshop do you use?
So you can do it. The version I have is CC 2018, but basically this has been in Photoshop, like the version I'm showing you, since just the CC versions. And with CS6, you could do it, and you still can do it, but it was like definitely less easy. Though I used to do it like on CS6, and when I went on to see the CC versions, at first I hated this, and I was like so used to doing it on the way more complicated way. So one thing that's great, you can do the same exactly. Oops. meantime, I can just show you like something. This is a short film I made a few years ago. It's definitely not great, but it will show you like this has all been done only on Photoshop. Well, not the video editing, obviously, but all the animation parts, which are not showing anywhere right now. So you can like actually like go through. It's one thing that's really cool is like when you use Photoshop, if you do the scraping on Photoshop, you'll like have all these brushes, and a lot of artists actually like have developed their own brushes, and so have like tons of tools to use, and you can all use them for doing animation, which like just makes it so much more possibilities. And like I said, since you can do it on video, you have all this. I could just like start making her talk. Okay, so it's definitely, when there's video, it definitely slows a little bit the process. Obviously, especially with the onion peel. But it's just to show you basically like you can do whatever you want, and it gives you. This is not at all advertising for Photoshop, but it's just to show you like just with this simple tool that they built in with the video layer, you can just do so many different things, and even like so you can just cut it, for instance. Just cut it, and really like inside it will build like a real timeline, which is kind of based on the way Photoshop works with like building up layers on top of other layers. And within this, you can just like change all the parameters as you would for any image on Photoshop. But you can do that like frame by frame, and in the end, export it. So I'm just gonna show you because like I know for a fact that a lot of people do not know how to export gifs from Photoshop. And so you just have to go to File, Exportation, and Save for the web. You have a way to. Does anyone have Photoshop to like see if what I'm saying?
No,
is
you're right. Yeah.
Okay. And like from there, there's like a built-in algorithm that will export the GIF. That's really great. Like it's 10 times better than exporting from any video software. Like if you export GIFs from Premiere or from After Effects, it will not be as good as the one from Photoshop. And so from there on, you can even choose like if you want it to loop forever, or if you want it just to like play once, which can also like be used on to do little animations on a website, for instance. If you want it to play once when it opens and not looping all the time. So I think that's it. I also brought on my phone these are like, if anyone you wants to like get into animation, there are like really, really cool apps that are on Android and iOS. There's one that's called Easy Animate, and so if it's on a phone, it sucks, but you can do like really, I did this in 10 minutes before you can do like very simple animation if you have like an iPad just with a stylus, and like again there are tons of brushes, and it's really easy like to use. It's called Easy Animate. And there's another one. That one I don't have an example of work unfortunately, but I guess you all know what stop motion is. Yes. Okay, well there's another. These are just basically tools I would recommend for any of you who just want to have fun and like start animating stuff. This one is called stop motion, which is very logical, and it allows you to just like with your phone, if you just have like these small phone stands, you'll be able to like start animating stuff in front of you, making stop motion. So if you have any other technical questions on how to do animation, I hope I made it as clear as possible. It's not very complicated. I feel the complicated part now is to do stuff. Because it's long. It's long. That's the only thing with animation.
Questions?
Yes.
You use the cloud-based version of Photoshop? Is that what you do, or do you? Where do you get your Photoshop? Do you buy it and install it in your?
You can buy
I
it.
have a very old version.
Well, if you have a very old version, I would think that you can get the update.
And also, actually, no, I don't have it. I have Elements, which is what you say.
Elements is like it's video editing. Like the whole principle of Photoshop is like doing animation without going through a video editing website software. And so this is like this is not free. That's why I showed you like these two apps because they're free and like you can already do a lot of them and have a lot of fun. It will definitely give you the possibilities that Photoshop does, but it's still really cool and yeah.
In the beginning, you mentioned that frame by frame animation is one way.
Well, like if you use After Effects, it's interpolated animation. So it's what it basically means. You'll say I have like a square, and it's here, and I want it to in 10 seconds go here. And so you will just like give him 2 keyframe points, and the computer will calculate the whole process, and it will look animated, but it's definitely not as much work as frame by frame animation. But at the same time, it doesn't have like, I feel like a lot of things that people like about stop motion and frame by frame animation is just like handmade work, which you don't get with interpolated animation.
But you're doing the handmade thing.
It is very tedious. So usually I like that short film where you see like the guy getting that. It's a 1 minute and 10 second short film. It took me 2 weeks of full animation. Like I would say like 10 hours a day. And what I would do is like I would watch series. So you can. The thing is, it's like it's very tedious, but it doesn't demand as much concentration as other stuff would do. Like it demands a lot of concentration, like building up the scene. Like how do you want? Because usually you'll like when you do animation, you'll split it in order to get the right rhythm. You'll first be like, well, I have this scene. I want this movement to take 10 seconds. So basically, I want the beginning to start here and start like this, and the end to start there. And to get like the right rhythm, you'll be well around the 3/4 of the time that has passed. I would like to be at this point. And so you build up your animation by like marking time codes or time frames, and then building up everything that's in between. And it's the in between that's like tedious, or everything is tedious, but in between is really, really like just like repetitive, and you're just like making one frame after the other. But in the end, the joy that is provided by giving life to something is so great that it's worth every time it takes, in my point of view. Yes.
2 questions. One is, what use cases of animation have you worked on besides short animation film? The second question is, doing animation, has it changed the way you look at the world?
At the world?
Yeah, or at people, or,
I don't think so. I don't think it has made my vision of the world change. I don't work that much like on traditional animation like as a paid job. Because unfortunately, the thing is, if you want it to become a paid job, you have to do only that. Because it's so tedious, and people who do that are all in, which I really love it, but I could not spend 3 years in a row working on a movie, doing like just the same frames all the time. So I do mainly motion graphics, so which would be like interpolated animation when it comes to actual paid jobs. So the rest is basically I will do, well, I'll have fun, make like funny short gifs like that, or I've done like some longer projects, but they're still short films. They're still like 1 to 4 minutes, because over that it becomes a very, very long process. And one thing I actually do is I mix a lot of like frame by frame animation and interpolated animation in order to have that frame by frame look, but for it not to be as tedious and meticulous work as just frame by frame animation.
Well, if it's okay with you, would you play your reel so we can see what some of your work looks like when it's finished?
Though on my reel there's not only animation, because I also do video editing, but I can show you. And there's like also a lot of interpolated animation. Really? There's sound?
There is.
I'm gonna give it a quick unplug.
Well, I'm only coming out to play. Nothing more that I hate in this life. The wrong impression I only have one to make. You can open your mouth, waiting to get sprayed. The cards are already made. Only one at a time. So precious. It's yours, it's mine. Only one at a time. My life, yeah. Get up and move. I never want to waste your time. My life, so precious. It's yours, it's mine. And look at the time.
So here it is. That was my show reel.
That's awesome.
Any of you want to get into animation and have any questions whatsoever, I am here every day and happy to answer nerdy questions about animation.
Thank you, Laura. All right, give it up one more time. Just once again, we do show and tell every third Thursday, every single third Thursday of the month. So we will continue doing that. If you would like to share something that you're working on or introduce us to someone that you think is awesome, like Cathy did for us today with Ted, and you want to bring them here to Indy Hall, you can talk to Sam or myself, and we would love to meet them and talk to you about doing show and tell. Great. Thank you to everybody who presented today.
I am hungry now.
That was great.
That was really good. I don't know.
Now I know how to
really
use
know
Photoshop in French.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I